are listening to the Winning Brand Podcast, a podcast that is dedicated to giving entrepreneurs and small business owners the right tools and resources to help them win in business. Now, here are your hosts, Chase Hunter and Branden Morris.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Winning Brand Podcast. I am Chase Hunter.
And I am Branden Morris.
And we are coming to you today to talk about survival during the corona mess. Like, it's some issues, y'all. Some small businesses are struggling out there, and we are listening, we are paying attention, and we are here to render aid and whatever assistance that we can be to you. We are doing that today, right, Branden?
Most definitely. You know, this is a trying time for everybody. This is a time where people have to adjust. We can't look backwards. We have to look forward. So we're going to do what we have to do to spread the news about what's going on in the business world, ways that you can try to keep yourself in business financially with some great tips. And, you know, we'll do what we do in relaying the most pertinent information for our small business owners and our winners out there.
For sure. So we wanted to get into the loans and the funds that may or may not be available out there, and the information or the misinformation that they're putting out. So we kind of just want to tell you guys about that, because Branden has experienced. What's been your experience with the loan process in this whole stimulus situation?
So this is all unprecedented for everyone, for the entire country, as including the lenders who are the main point people, facilitators of the different loan products that have been set up and established for us. Two products in particular that comes from the SBA, and that is the PPP, otherwise known as the Paycheck Protection Program. This program is facilitated through the lenders, but you can also apply directly online. If you haven't already, you should try. You should try to go through your lender first, because you have a relationship with the lender, and they're counting on the underwriting process and the familiarity that they have with you to help speed that loan process along. So go through your lender first. But this is for mainly paycheck protection and covering essential business expenses like your lease and your utilities, and most importantly, your the payroll. Now, it is a forgivable payroll loan if a minimum of 75% of the funds that you receive go towards the operating expense. If it goes towards anything else and you can't prove that, then you have to pay the loan back at a 1% interest rate for a term of about 2 years. And if you do if you meet the financial obligations, they forgive the whole loan. So that is the long and short of that. Now, to prove what you've done with the loan, you have to submit things like a 940, 941. These are IRS documents that you use when you're filing your business tax returns, W-2 or W-3. So there are, documents that you have to submit along with the application. Now, to grant an initial $10,000, which I'm hearing is starting to change a little bit. It's not a flush $10,000 for what they're calling the COVID economic injury disaster loan. To fill this out from the SBA, it's a simple process, only 4 pages, and it's supposed to give you an emergency $10,000. What I'm hearing now is that is a moving target. It's not just an automatic 10,000. For some people, it's 1,000. For some people, it's 3,000. And I'm not 100% sure of what they're basing that on. So, not to say that you shouldn't fill it out, but you should, because you just never know. Now, a little more locally, they have funds available through Harris County Harris County has, I believe, 10 million or 10 to 20 million to provide for small businesses. You have to go on the Harris County website to find their economic stimulus package and apply for that. The state of Texas has set aside 50 million, but that is in some way related to the SBA. So you have to go to the Secretary of State of Texas, find their economic relief package plan and apply for those funds. And then you have a lot of private donors, people who are making grants available. So one of the best sources to check on grant money available is through Lift Fund. Lift Fund is a nonprofit lender that is supported by larger banks and those who donate money for small business relief efforts. They have grants, private grants available, but you have to keep checking back on their page because they spend all of the money for people just as fast as the grant is made available. So you really have to, be amongst the first to apply for those particular grants. It's again, all of this is unprecedented. So I know it's easy to get frustrated when you're looking at your business and you're trying to stay in business. You're trying to, keep afloat, but we have to do what we have to do. Don't get frustrated. Just keep working the process. So those are some of the lending economic bailouts that I'm familiar with. Of course, there are some more private ones like the Alice Foundation. There's the Red Backpack Foundation. I believe that these have already sent out or paid out all of the money for the people. So as new ones come online, we would definitely let you know. And I encourage you to contact the show, the Winning Brand Podcast, for updates and, ask questions specifically to Chase and I, and we can get that information out to you.
Definitely. So, Branden, and in this whole little pandemic situation, I wanted to ask, has COVID-19 in any way affected your business and what's been going on?
Definitely. So, Chase, as you know, we have both the consulting firm and the construction company. From the consulting firm status, it hasn't negatively affected it too much because it's easy to adjust our meetings to virtual meetings. So we're using mechanisms like, Zoom, WebEx, Ring Central, Microsoft Teams, anything that has the video meeting capabilities. We're using those to meet with our clients to still keep up with different classes and training programs that we're involved in. So, really, we haven't missed a beat, more so, just had to evolve. From a construction standpoint, it's been a little bit more complicated. We do residential and commercial construction. Different projects have been put on hold, on both sides. Residents, of course, they're a little skittish about allowing a crew to come in their homes. And, of course, we're a little bit skittish about being around people in their homes. So it goes both ways. But, we're still trying to keep everything as business normal as possible. We're still going after bids. We may have secured one recently where the house is going to be empty and it's a full rehab. So, we're trying to get those type of bids together and get those type of jobs, in the pipeline. But jobs where people are going to be home or the commercial establishment is either still having to be in the place while we're working, or if it's not viable for that commercial establishment for us to go in and start rehabbing things or remodeling things when they can't open for business, those projects have been put on hold. So it definitely has affected us. What about yourself?
We are somewhat kind of considered essential, and our business has been very great. It's been great. We've been extremely busy. We have like more contracts than we have hands on right now, because of where we are. Everyone is switching into, like you said, the conference call and media, and really expanding their media game. And of course, that's what we do when we're in that arena, multimedia marketing. So
Mhm.
it's been everyone like in a rush to get it right and to
Right.
implement all of the live streaming, all of the little nuances when it comes to media. So it's been great. It's been great. It's amazing to me how people are just like really starting to pay attention to media and to up their game and to really position themselves to be a player in the game. Because right now, um it will never really kind of go back to normal for a while. So I
Right.
think we need to really adjust and settle in with the mind frame that we are going to be at this social distancing era for quite some time. So we really need to pivot our businesses as such. Like we really need to really start thinking about, if something else happens, if not a pandemic, then what? And that would keep us from meeting people. What else can we do, or should we be doing in our businesses to make sure that we are still, front faced with our clients? So I think that's something that businesses should really start taking a look at now, moving forward, because even though right now they're more in a reactive state than a proactive state, but that's going to be imperative moving forward.
Definitely. Definitely. I have a question for you. So, how do you feel about different countries and even our country, several states talking about slowly implementing a restart to the economy by opening up businesses in phases? I read Germany is starting to open up in phases. China has made several attempts to start opening up in phases. The state of Texas, where the winning brand is produced, they
Hmm.
are talking about slowly opening up businesses in phases, starting with the most essential and then moving to, the less essential, moving to restaurants and things of that nature with some weird rules, actually. If a restaurant has a capacity of, I don't know, 250 people, if you're sitting at one table, you can't have anybody at a nearby table, and that type of thing. And of course, reservation only. So everybody's going to feel important. I have to make a reservation to go to McDonald's. How's that in the post-COVID pandemic world, right? So, what's
Right.
your thoughts about that?
I think that it inevitably is going to happen. It is going to be that restart. Um, I I'm excited for the restart, but at the same time, if it's going to set us back, I think that's something that we shouldn't even, entertain right now. I think we should give it a few more weeks. But I think going forward, there really needs to be, things are going to change. It is going to change. Restaurants are not, going to look the same. We're going to have to go out with masks for a very long time and gloves. And it's, people still may feel away and just not go out, and say, you know what, I don't even want to take that chance. I'm just not going to do it, even though we're like getting that cabin fever and ready to go out. But I think there has to be some type of reopening to stimulate the economy. That definitely needs to happen. But I just hope that it's done in a responsible way, that it's not a setback and
Right,
that will cost us later on down the line, because this thing is predicted to pick up in the fall, pick
right,
right back up in the fall.
right.
And it's like, okay, will we be back at, ground zero and starting all over with this? So I just think that if we don't handle it now, and we do it socially responsible now, as small business owners, and keeping everyone safe, then I don't know. I think we may, as a country, may be doing more harm than good if we're not taking this seriously.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's definitely going to take a collective effort, and I think that's the scary part, because the level of how people take it seriously, it varies. It varies wildly. There are still people doing gatherings who are completely ignoring this, and then of course you have the complete opposite end where people are just creating a bunker and they're not coming outside at all. So I don't know how. Again, all of this is unprecedented. I'm really, really interested to see how this reintegration phase is going to play out. But I believe that for entrepreneurs, we have to take the lead in innovating our businesses to adjust to the times. I think that is supremely important. If you are not thinking about ways to become more virtual, to adjust your business model, to tweak your business model, to pay attention to what's going on. I mean, I have a cousin who is a school administrator, and his wife, they're both school administrators, actually, when I think about it, one in college, one in high school. She started making masks just for the family, and one of her sorority sisters saw it, so she made a special sorority sister mask for her, and of course, it just started to blow up, and now he's up till 3 a.m. helping his wife make masks for the masses. There are businesses that were doing beauty products, and now they're making hand sanitizer. I mean, as an entrepreneur, you have to have that entrepreneurial mindset to be ready to adjust on the fly to what the circumstances are, what the times are. So I applaud those entrepreneurs who are doing that, and the ones who have not yet. There's still time. But you need to get on it. I mean, you cannot let this time go to waste. This is a time where if there's a skill that you wanted to learn virtually, a workshop that you wanted to take, if you want to learn project management, if you want to learn, Lean Six Sigma, if you want to learn Spanish, if you want to learn whatever, this is the time. Don't waste all of your time binge watching Ozark. Oops, I'm sorry, that was me. But don't waste all of your time doing things that aren't bettering yourself so that you can come out on the other side of this a more prepared person, a more prepared individual, more prepared family man or family woman, a more prepared entrepreneur. Definitely take advantage of this time.
You absolutely do. Right now is a time to be so creative, like getting your friends together, doing those masterminds, those think tanks where you are creatively dumping ideas to come out, with something. I believe everyone, if you had a business before, then you can have a business now. It's like you said, you have to adjust, you have to pivot. Even if you have to pivot a little bit, our business, the Winning Brand, we consisted of, mainly marketing and doing multimedia for small businesses and entrepreneurs. And it kind of shifted a little bit to primarily ministries, so, and I'm grateful for that, but we're able to just pick up and adjust, and pivot and just keep it moving. So right now is that time to sit down with your business and really sit with a strategist. And if you got to, create that marketing plan, sit down and be extremely detailed. So when you come up out of this and you're working through this, you can come out of this with a bang. And even there are people even making money during this time, right?
Yeah.
It's like you said, the people that are making the masks, the people that are making the hand sanitizer, there's money literally to be made. So when you go into the mindset of, oh, no one's spending money, no one, yeah, they are. They really are. People are still spending money.
Right.
Everyone is not hurting. Everyone is not living, paycheck to paycheck. Everyone's not in that crisis. So right now, shameless plug, it's time for you to get connected with the Community Financial Rehab Center, right?
There you go.
Go ahead and like that page.
Yes.
We are officially now a nonprofit. Yay,
congratulations.
Excited about that.
Yes.
Thank you. So, get connected, stay connected so you can learn how to even deal and handle your finances through this time so that you won't go through this financial slump or crisis ever again.
Right.
Like you need to start positioning yourself now in your business and your life to come out of this stronger and better than ever.
Yes. I think a key word in what you're describing can be wrapped up in the term business resiliency. And
Mm-hmm.
wherever you are in the world, there are organizations out there, business organizations, chamber of commerces, business nonprofits, organizations that are offering workshops, classes. If you're in the United States, SBA, they're using their satellite offices in the different regions to put on business resiliency workshops to teach you how to basically shore up your business in times of stress. If there's going to be, which we can pretty much plan now for, going forward, something is going to happen that's going to affect the business. So how can you protect your business? How can you prepare for those tough times, for those hard times? You need to be aware of what mechanisms are out there to protect your business. Because guess what, people? Small business spending, accounts for 80% of the spending in the United States alone. Okay. The small business infrastructure is vital to the economy. So, we need you to stay alive. We need you to be around to provide services and products for our people, here and around the world. But if you're folding up shop because you mismanaged funds or you misunderstood how to manage, payroll for your people, or, you're not on the right type of software to keep up with your inventory the right way. And one little blip on the screen, one little natural disaster, one little hurricane, one little tornado, one little pandemic basically throws you off kilter. That's what these workshops hosted and sponsored by these major business organizations are there for. Sign up, learn about business resiliency, learn from experts who have been able to stay in business the whole time throughout history when there's natural disasters, when there's, all these crazy things happening in the world. Learn how to basically fortify your business, people. Seriously.
That's absolutely correct, because right now, like, if this didn't teach us anything, it is teaching us you need to always have your ducks in a row. You need to always have your stuff together.
Definitely. Yeah.
One thing I wanted to add is, if you guys, business owners, especially like myself that has, like a few degrees, and if you are, one of those people that have student loans right now, student loan interest has been paused for a while. At first they were saying September, and then they kind of pushed it back to February of next year, while you don't have to pay any interest. This is the time, if you had any time or any inkling or whatever to try to catch up on your student loans and pay down that principal, right now is the time to, start knocking a dent in those student loans, even though they're like deferring payments and doing the forbearance. If you guys can really stand to make a few payments on your student loan interest free, right now would be the time to do it. And that's with anything, with your mortgage or with anything. If you have the funds to do that, where you don't have to get it deferred and put it on the back end, make sure you take advantage of this interest free. You have to, because we don't know where interest is going to be in the future.
Really?
Yeah, because it's crazy out here. You just don't know. You don't know.
If you have the money, it's a buyer's market for sure. I mean, this is the time to invest in stocks. If you believe that they've hit the bottom, this is the time to get in. This is the time to purchase real estate. This is the time to renegotiate terms. The market is crazy right now. And when you look around at some of the rich people, a lot of the rich people in the world, and you ask them how they got to where they got, they basically took advantage of times like this. Okay. They saw the time to get into a situation when everybody else is running scared, when everybody else is more desperate. Unfortunately, there's that person who has to unload a property just to stay alive, and where they had the price up, 40% 2 months ago when this happened, they really need to get out. They may not be getting the stimulus money fast enough. This is the time to jump in. And I hate to say it like that, but part of entrepreneurship and money management is taking advantage of the opportunities when they present themselves, you know. So yes, you have to be smart about this. You know, this is a time when interest rates are low; they're continuously dropping. A lot of mortgage rates, you know, are still dropping, and you know, this is a time to refinance. This is a time banks are a little bit more. They don't mind, you know, stretching a little bit to extend, you know, financing to help people out because they still need to keep that money going. Now, of course, places like JP Morgan Chase is going the opposite way, where they have actually raised their mortgage approval guidelines in a crazy move. But hey, you know, it's not for everybody, right?
It is definitely not for everyone. And it's like you said, I remember the day the stock market crashed last month. I took advantage and got stock.
Right.
And I was like, oh no, this is the time to buy. And it's really starting to slowly but surely it's starting to pay off. So, you know, just taking advantage of times like that. Like you have to see the opportunity when everyone is scared, like you said, and really not see those as, okay, so this is a time to fold. No, it's the time to take off. And that's when you have to be fearless. That's when you have to take those risks and you have to just run with it.
Definitely. Yeah. So yeah, forward thinking, you know, that is the hallmark of the entrepreneurial mind spirit, or mindset, I should say. And it's the entrepreneurial spirit. You have to be forward thinking. So take advantage of these times. You know, you really should. You really should. So Chase, tell me, when it comes to how the economy you feel is going to look coming out on the other side of this, when it comes to people's thought process of getting into massive or I said mass gatherings and everything, I started thinking about my love for watching movies and going to the movies. Now, I think this is something to observe. This might be a hot tip. I don't know. I'm fishing here a little bit, but think about this. The movie industry was already looking for ways to innovate before this happened, you know, because with huge televisions, you know, kind of becoming more affordable for homes, you know, a lot more people have home theaters, Netflix and Disney Plus and all of these places are, you know, launching their own movie franchises, you know, directly to their streaming, you know, places. So the movies was the place where, okay, well, I just need to get out of the house. Let me see a movie on a big screen, get some popcorn, making an outing. You had places like Studio Movie Grill where you can actually go to dinner and things of that nature. Well, coming out on the other side of this, how do you think the AMCs of the world and the Studio Movie Grills of the world are going to fare when people are going to be a lot more skittish about getting in a general, you know, populated area with other people?
You know, because I'm one of those people that's very skittish, I was like, yeah, I don't really know. I think they're going to definitely take a hit. Especially, I was watching Amazon Prime the other night,
Mm,
and I'm flipping through, and I saw that they have like the movies that are in the movies now,
right.
and you can now watch the early release. And I was like, oh my God, we literally never have to go to the movies again. Like they are already on it. They are jumping on it to where we understand that this may take a while. People may never revert back to it. So here's the solution. And I'm just thinking, you know, I know, even though I was telling my husband the other day, I was like, man, I would love for us to go to a movie, but at the end of the day, I don't want to worry about, I'm already like so cautious just going outside, period.
Right.
But just putting myself in that space again, I am so uncomfortable with that.
I mean, those
I
movie
don't
theaters aren't big. I mean, it's virtually a
know.
petri dish.
And think about it, like the seats are not like clean like that, right? You get out, one movie ends, and the next one is starting, and then it's a cycle of they're just turning over tickets, right? They're
Yeah.
turning over seats, and they're not cleaning like that. So I think that if anything is gonna be affected like that, it will have that the movies. It
I
will
mean,
never be the same.
think about the guy on or the girl on the top row of the movies because it's stadium seating style, and they cough and something goes into the air, and all of the people directly beneath them, you just got sprinklets of
No.
of COVID on your head, and it's just that's yeah. Now, let me say this:
Mm-mm.
it had me
No.
thinking about what about the drive-in movie experience being revamped? I mean, think
Well,
about that.
like in so outside of Houston, is it I can't remember the little city, but I've gone there a few times, and but they have a little bit of the older movies, not anything that's out right now.
Hmm.
But I would take advantage of the drive-in movie. I can see that in me going over there because I've done it, last year, and I really enjoyed it. But once they need to, and I think this is going to make them update their movies, and they're going to make a killing.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Not only update their movies, but just innovate in different ways to make it more relevant to the times. I mean,
Right.
yes, there's classic drive-in movies, but what about a way to have a more surround sound setting at the drive-in movies? What about a way to, I don't know, the car base to be more updated, to have more innovative equipment, food delivery systems, food ordering systems, things of that nature right there in your car, different Wi-Fi connections. And I'm just thinking that the innovative millionaire or the innovative person who can get some venture capital money together to really truly make an innovative drive-in car 2020 version of the drive-in theater, I believe that could be a really good moneymaker going forward in these times.
Oh,
I
for
was,
sure.
yeah, I would invest in that. I really would.
Yeah, I think of all that would be the innovation is going to be there. The technology right now, if you're in that space, this is your time to shine.
Look,
This is your
and
time.
I'm throwing out ideas because there are things that my wife and I love to do that I want to still continue doing, but I want to do it safely. Like, so for instance, we have
Hmm.
season tickets for the New Orleans Saints. It's the Saints play in a dome. They're talking right now about either canceling the whole season
Hmm.
or playing games without fans in the stand. Um, or they're talking about putting up some type of fence or something. Or maybe that was the NBA they're talking about putting up a fence. But my point is, how, as an entrepreneur and as an innovator, what are some of the things that you can come up with to still allow for the fan experience to happen at a live sporting event, but to be safe? Now, this is a challenge. This is something to challenge your mind. And these are the things that people are going to be looking to really push the envelope to see what can we come up with to make that experience still the same but
Right.
safe. Because look, I love going to live sporting events. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, live basketball, live football. I don't watch baseball on television, but I will go to an Astros game and have the time of my life because it's a live
Hmm.
experience. It's the energy. It's part of what makes sports exciting because the energy of the crowd when they're booing or they're yelling for their team and we're talking smack. I'm really curious to see how society is going to be able to come up with something with that. I know you're not a big sports person, but it is a similar premise to the movies where it's stadium seating, it's
Hmm.
people above you and around you. What can we come up with that'll protect us? I mean, going to sporting events in the summer, I can't wear long sleeves all the time, but I mean, hey, to keep from getting coughed on, I might have to show up in the stadium with a helmet or something in a spacesuit.
Yeah, times and things definitely have to change. So if you guys I hope you guys are listening and taking advantage of that and like, hey, that'll be good for my business. Or if you already have something in that realm and this can expand it, hey, that would be the thing. The playing field is wide open.
Yes, yes. I would love to hear from our audience. Please, contact the show via email, the Winning Brand Podcast. I believe that our audience has questions. They have things that they want to know about. They want to be connected to different resources. And we want to be a show to really give you the most updated and the most relevant information. And I am, that this is something that Chase and I, we hold near and dear to our hearts, to champion the cause of the small business owner. So if you need any help, if you need some advice, if you need something, Chase, how can they contact the show?
Hello at the winningbrandpodcast.com, and you can find us on all social media, the Winning Brand Podcast, and drop us a DM or inbox or email or whatever. We will always be available for you and to you.
Definitely. We have to stick together, people, as a people, as a world, as a business community. We have to stick together because we can't do it without each other.
At all, for sure. Well, Brandon, what's the moral of the story?
The moral of the story is somebody come up with a way for me to go to the movies so that we don't have to worry about the spread of all kinds of nastiness when I got old buddy above me coughing and I feel this mist on my bald head. That's just not cool. No, hey, look, we have to stay alive, people, as businesses. So contact one of these ways, start applying for these different funding opportunities if you haven't already. And if you have questions, if you have concerns, if you just need help, definitely reach out to us. Don't be shy, because that's what we're here for.
Absolutely. And we will definitely put everything that we mentioned down in the show notes for all of the resources and regarding the loans, the grants, and any information that we can assist with and pour into you guys. We will make sure that we put that in there as well.
Good deal.
All right, everybody. There you have it. The Winning Brand Podcast. I am Chase Hunter.
And I am Branden Morris.
And until next time, create a winning brand.
Definitely.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Winning Brand Podcast. Please take a moment to comment, rate, and subscribe on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Podcasts. And to view the podcast, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, have a winning week.